Hey everybody, it's a Friday edition of the Run Network. I'm David Sullivan flying solo today, but folks, my talk today is simple. Why are politicians not listening to voters? Or are they going to wait to get to the ballot box and realize, I can't believe we lost. I don't understand what happened. But it's enough is enough because it seems like politicians have distanced themselves more than ever from you and me. And it's time to get rid of some of them. Everybody, welcome back to the Rent Network. As I said, I'm David Solomon. Stuart Brisgell is off today. This is a platform where we provide you an unedited, unfiltered, and uncensored platform to talk about what you want to talk about, the issues that bother you. We get into news, pop culture, and so much more, where we give you a chance to express your opinions, your thoughts, ideas, and hear from a variety of perspectives from a couple of guys who are not media people, but boy, do we do our homework way better than the folks sometimes in the media. So sit back as we get into today's topic and listen. What got me this week as I was traveling, I was in Toronto, I came back, listening to politics in different cities and reading about what's going on in an American election in 11 days. And what the theme that was consistent was politicians are not listening to you and me. So what started this thought process was on Wednesday morning. The mayor of Montreal announced she wasn't seeking a third term. And of course, the reaction has been, well, women, mayors, they're being threatened. There's incivility, online harassment. They can't take it anymore. It's not fair. It's wrong, and so on and so forth. And to that, I find that the violent, disgusting, and should be eliminated. And people who have the power of anonymity on X, on Facebook, on Instagram, you name it, it's vile. But that's not my point. See, the problem with Valérie Plante over the last 7 years of her being the mayor was she didn't listen to the voters. She paid attention to her base and what they wanted, but not what was best for the city of Montreal. She got elected twice. She beat the incumbent the first time. She beat him out again the second time. And the reality is that Valérie Plante, to some, many called her the greatest mayor of all time. Of course, those are people in her party. And as she's stepping down in a year from now, the accolades are going to come out because that's what we do in politics. But what made Valérie Plante such a lightning rod? Why was she so hated? It's because she didn't listen. She didn't listen to the people in the city of Montreal. For example, she destroyed downtown. Her decision to turn downtown into this, pedestrian walkway, ignoring the businesses along the major arteries here, ignoring the fact that her impact on downtown Montreal was destroying the fabric that made downtown amazing. Yes, she was the mayor through COVID. Yes, downtown disappeared. But instead of reviving and revitalizing the downtown core, she went ahead and killed it even further. Her ideas, half-cocked, more bike lanes instead of helping cars get around. The idea that she had to appeal to her left-wing base, that climate change is the only thing that matters in the city of Montreal, not its development, not its international reputation, didn't matter. Businesses closed. Restaurants that were there for many years disappeared. People stopped coming downtown. And what does she end up doing? Increasing parking spaces, not increasing parking space, increasing the time when you have to pay for parking spaces downtown. So we're not attracting people, and now we're making it more expensive for them to come. Brilliant strategy. She didn't care. And since October 7th, 2023, she's ignored her constituents even further by permitting hateful riots in Montreal, destruction of property. Montreal has become an international symbol of hate. And yet she said, we're not doing anything because we're not a police state. Head of police has said she handcuffed them. They can't do anything. I've spoken to police officers myself who've told me this. It's sad. Ladies and gentlemen, it's sad. That is a woman who didn't want to listen to her constituents. By the way, she's not the only one. Olivia Chow in Toronto is doing the same thing. Other mayors have done the same thing, whether it's for hate purposes or for crime or for whatever. These politicians have an agenda that has nothing to do with you and me, but to get reelected. There's a base out there, a somewhat powerful base out there that is creating havoc and anarchy. And that's what they're appealing to in order to get voted in. So the ideas that they've come up with have been so half-cocked, it's unbelievable. So we're not talking about really great policies. What we're talking about is misleading voters on real intent. And that's what they've done. And we have to wait until the next election to do something about it. But again, it's not limited to just these mayors. Take a look at federal politics. Take a look at what's going on here in Canada. You have a federal government that is not listening to its constituents. I mean, imagine, if you will, Chrystia Freeland goes to Prince Edward Island to talk about why public transit is the greatest thing in the world and that they should all embrace public transit in a province that just doesn't really have the infrastructure for that. She embarrassed and insulted constituents in PEI. They're like, have you any idea what we're about? Justin Trudeau, Melanie Joly, all the rest of these liberal lunatics have done the same thing. Melanie Joly wants to get reelected. Her policies, per reports, are per her constituents and not per Canadians. Because her constituents a lot of them want to see Israel falter. She is pushing that way so she can get reelected. But is that the best for Canada? Is that the best for Canadian constituents? Look what happened in India. Same thing. Justin Trudeau and Melanie Joly have both looked and said, how do we get reelected? Not do what's best for Canadians. Now, if there had been a better opposition leader, then this would not be happening. But unfortunately, Canadian politics, municipal politics, none of the politics is fun. So people don't want to get in here. But finally, there is a pivot. There is a movement to change. And now Trudeau realizes, oh my God, if I want to get elected, I got to do something. So he now reduces immigration numbers by 20%. But he doesn't talk about vetting people because that looks bad. The media is going to crucify him as being a racist. That looks bad. My base will be upset. Come on. Are you not listening to the voters? In the United States, this has gone on. This is steroids, folks. This is like the great game in steroids. The United States election that we're currently seeing, as I said, in 11 days in the US, has gone so far off the rails that it doesn't matter. Take a look at what the polls say. The important topics for American voters are crime, immigration, and the economy. Not necessarily in that order. But what do the Democrats do? How do the Democrats run? How do they disperse their minions of Obama and Hillary Clinton and Tim Walz and the rest? Lies and misdirection. Kamala Harris can't get a policy out of her mouth. She just talks about, yeah, but Donald Trump. Even if we don't vote for Donald Trump and we vote for Kamala Harris, so what are you going to do? She's lying to people. She lied about her past. The media has covered it up. She's lying. She's ignoring the fact that you are smart enough to listen to know, hey, she said these things and now she's changed her mind. She's flipped. Insults from Barack Obama, who has to insult the hell out of Donald Trump, to Hillary Clinton and others, to go as far as to call him a fascist. And yes, that is the term that they have used. Donald Trump is Hitler. I mean, talk about insulting the population. Donald Trump is Hitler. He's authoritarian. He wants to bring in the military in case he doesn't win. Like on and on and on and on and on. I mean, Hillary Clinton said that the rally in Madison Square Garden, she's not the only one, will be like a Nazi rally in 1930s. How much more can they insult you? This is the woman who called voters deplorables because they didn't vote for her. We've ranted about this, that the Democratic Party, instead of bringing out platforms, is insulting and trying to demean you in order for you to vote for them. You don't vote for a Democrat, you're an idiot. You don't vote for Kamala, you're a racist, a woman hater. No policies. Because you don't need them. Trust us. We know what's best for you. You ever heard that? Politicians again and again and again say the same thing. We know what's best for you. Trust us. So how are we doing here, folks? The Canadian economy is the worst it's been in God knows how long, but we'll blame Harper from 9 years ago. The Americans are doing lousy. We'll blame Trump from 2016 to 2020. I mean, are you kidding me? Kamala Harris has been asked time and time again, you've been in the White House for 3.5+ years. Why now? She can't answer because her answer is, yeah, but Donald Trump. Again and again. Bring up the border wall. I'm going to do a better job. Donald Trump screwed up. Donald Trump screwed up. It's fascinating to consistently say is, if I ask you a question and say to you, tell me about, your life, how, and I meet you and you say to me, my life is good, but let me tell you about my friend's life and how crap it is. And that's not what I asked you. That's Kamala Harris. That's what she's done. And she's insulted your intelligence by consistently and repeatedly ignoring the real questions that you want to hear so that you can know that we are insulting Donald Trump. Look at this person who hated Donald Trump and said, hey, he was this. And you're saying this is the right way to play? This is the insults you need? Policies. That's what we want to hear in an election. We want to hear what you're going to do for us. Don't tell me what the other guy is like. Don't tell me what the other candidate is like. Tell me what you're going to do. But they can't. They can't. In the debate between J.D. Vance and Tim Walz, we got a sense of what real politics should be. Policies. And when they tried to insult Donald Trump, they brought it back to policy. It was one of the only times it was refreshing. But since then, Trump's insulted Kamala Harris, but he talks about policies. And Kamala says, oh, I've talked about policies. Check my website. No, tell me. I don't want to read your policy. Tell me. But she's not there. None of them are. Ladies and gentlemen, the elections that are going to happen in the United States, and it happened in the UK, and it's happened in France, and happened whatever, is divisive politics. It's insult politics. It's demeaning and degrading politics. The left and the hard right are absolutely categorically crazy about this. I'm right. They're wrong. You're stupid. Vote for me. Enough of this. Enough. The policies in the US are clear. What people want to hear and want to know about. And yes, abortion might be up there. And yes, you have to address these things. Healthcare, other things. Sure. But they're not talking about it. It's not there. And the media has helped to create this environment. How do we position Donald Trump as Joe Biden this week said we should incarcerate Donald Trump. That's a policy? That is what Americans want to hear? Americans don't trust the judicial system. The Americans don't trust so many of the government departments. And instead of addressing that, they're insulting. No different in Canada. If you didn't agree with Justin Trudeau, he threw you out of cabinet. He threw you out. He excommunicated you. Because King Justin, you need to listen to King Justin because he knows best. He would have been better as a 17th century monarch than he is as a leader in Canada because he doesn't want to listen to you and me. The carbon tax, that's going to make all the difference in Canada. Really? All it did was raise the cost of my driving. It didn't do anything. We're not changing the climate here. But that's what he wants to make you believe because you're stupid. He's raised your cost of living like you can't imagine. You're stupid to figure it out. What are you going to do about it? Americans are lucky that in 11 days they get to vote. They get to make a change. Whether you believe in the Democrats or the Republicans is not my problem. That's yours. That's your decision. Who you want to live with is who you want to live with. But for God's sakes, challenge them. Challenge Congress people. Challenge your elected officials. What are they going to do? And stop insulting and telling me the other guy is bad. What are you going to do for me as a voter? What are you going to do for me as a person? That's what I want to hear. Stop insulting my intelligence. Stop insulting other voters' intelligence. Enough is enough. And I wish in Canada we were going to a vote sooner at the federal level, but we'll probably wait until mid to late 2025. So here's the deal, folks. It's time to write your elected officials. Enough with the insults. Get with the program. Fix the problems that you consistently push and defer and create other ones. Listen to what we really want. Don't be Valérie Plante, who now has turned Montreal into a village and not into a city, not into a metropolis that people want to come and live in. No, the opposite. Listen, listen, listen. That's it for today's episode. That's it for the week. We do appreciate you tuning in and listening to the Rant Network, whether you're watching us on video or on audio podcast. Hope you gained some valuable insights. I'd love to hear your comments on what your feelings are towards politicians right now. Yes, I know what you're going to say, David. They're all garbage. I know. But how would you address it? If you could have a chance to sit down with one politician, what would you do? Love to hear about it. We're on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern. That's when we broadcast. Folks, listen, YouTube loves subscribers. Please hit the subscribe button on your YouTube channel at therantnetwork.com. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on all the podcast channels. We do appreciate all your support. Please share with everybody, like, and we look forward to seeing you